Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Smart with Points, the podcast that helps you navigate the sometimes wonderful, sometimes frustrating world of miles, points, and award travel. I'm Jack, and today I've got some news that might make you want to throw your carefully hoarded Avios out the window. Don't worry though, we'll get through this together, preferably while sitting in a seat we didn't have to pay extra for. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's talk about Qatar Airways' latest move to lighten your wallet. Right, let's get straight into it. Qatar Airways has quietly introduced seat selection fees for business class award bookings, and when I say quietly, I mean they basically whispered it into the void and hoped nobody would notice. Spoiler alert, people noticed. This change took effect on the 3rd of November 2025, and it means that if you're redeeming Avios or Q credits for business class flights, you'll now need to pay approximately £85 per flight segment to select your seats in advance. That's around 95 to €100 for our European listeners. The only exception, if you hold oneworld Sapphire or Emerald status. Now, this policy was first spotted by a vigilant Reddit user, because of course it was. Reddit is basically the canary in the coal mine for airline devaluations these days. The discovery was then confirmed through test bookings, and according to internal communications from Qatar's customer service team, the change applies to all passengers who book or upgrade to business class using Avios or Q credits. Specifically, this affects the U-Fare class, which is the booking class used for award tickets. So who exactly is affected by this? Well, if you're booking Qatar Airways business class award tickets through Qatar Airways Privilege Club, British Airways Executive Club, Iberia Plus, Aer Lingus Air Club, or partner programs like Alaska Mileage Plan and JetBlue TrueBlue, you're in the firing line. Essentially, if you're redeeming points or miles for Qatar business class from any program, you'll face these fees, regardless of which loyalty program you book through. This is because all award tickets are issued in the same U booking class. Now, there is a silver lining for some of you. If you hold elite status, you might be protected. oneworld Sapphire and Emerald members, which includes Qatar Gold and Platinum, British Airways Silver and Gold, and equivalent status in other oneworld airlines, can still select seats for free. Additionally, Qatar Burgundy members receive a 10% discount on seat selection fees, whilst Qatar Silver members receive a 20% discount. So if you hold British Airways Gold status, which is a oneworld Emerald equivalent, you're protected from these fees. This is yet another example of how elite status continues to provide tangible value in an increasingly fee-laden aviation landscape. It's one of those situations where the rich get richer, or in this case, the status holders get free seat selection. But what if you don't have status? Well, you do have an alternative, though it's a bit of a gamble. Seat selection becomes free when online check-in opens 24 hours before departure. However, this presents a significant risk, especially on routes featuring Qatar's coveted Q Suites product. Here's the thing. The most desirable Q Suites configurations, particularly those center quad seats that can be converted into double beds, are often snapped up well before the 24-hour mark. Window seats with additional privacy are similarly popular. By waiting until check-in, you're essentially playing seat roulette with one of the world's best business class products. You might end up in a great seat, or you might find yourself stuck in the least desirable configuration for a 12-hour flight. Not exactly ideal when you've spent tens of thousands of hard-earned Avios. Now, this latest move is part of a troubling pattern from Qatar Airways. In 2024, the airline significantly increased fuel surcharges on award tickets, adding roughly £80 to £100 per one-way long-haul flight. When you combine these increases with the new seat selection fees, a business class award redemption to Doha now carries approximately £180 to £200 in additional costs beyond the Avios, and that's before considering any onward connections. The airline has also been tightening award availability on premium routes, making it increasingly difficult to find space through programs like American AAdvantage or Alaska Mileage Plan. These incremental changes don't generate the headlines that outright award chart devaluations do, but they're arguably more insidious. They're quietly eroding the value proposition of award travel without fanfare, like a slow leak in a tyre rather than a dramatic blowout. So what's my take on all this? I'll be honest with you. This one stings. Qatar Airways has long been one of my preferred redemption options, particularly for flights to the Middle East and Asia. The combination of excellent Q suites availability, reasonable award pricing, 70,000 Avios for business class between Europe and Doha, and stellar service made it a go-to for premium travel. But these incremental fees are death by 1,000 cuts. When you factor in high fuel surcharges, seat selection fees, and increasingly scarce award availability, the value proposition starts to look decidedly less compelling. For a family of 4, you're looking at an additional £340 just to select your seats on a return journey to Doha. And that's on top of the hundreds in fuel surcharges you're already paying. The status carve-out is interesting. On one hand, it rewards loyal customers, which is fair enough. On the other hand, it creates yet another divide between those with elite status and those without. For casual points collectors who've saved up for a special trip, these fees add insult to injury. You've done everything right, collected your points, found award availability, planned your dream trip, and then you're hit with unexpected fees that weren't part of the equation when you started. What particularly frustrates me is the lack of transparency. Qatar didn't announce this change publicly. It was discovered by eagle-eyed travelers on Reddit. The airline's booking flow even initially shows seat selection as included before revealing the charges in the next step. That feels deliberately misleading, like they're hoping you won't notice until you're already committed to the booking. So looking forward, what should we do? For those of us in the points and miles game, this serves as another reminder to diversify our strategies. Relying too heavily on any single airline or program leaves you vulnerable when the goalposts inevitably shift. Here are a few things to consider. First, think about building status in oneworld or other alliances to protect against fees like these. Second, maintain flexibility in your Avios balances across British Airways, Qatar, and Iberia. Each offers different sweet spots, and having options means you're not trapped when one program becomes less attractive. Third, explore alternative redemption options on other carriers when Qatar's fees become prohibitive. And fourth, use tools like Award Travel Finder to compare availability across multiple programs. Speaking of which, I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. The disappointing reality is that award travel is becoming progressively more expensive and complicated. Qatar Airways Q suites remain one of the finest ways to cross continents. They really are spectacular. But the all-in cost of redeeming points for that experience is steadily creeping upwards. Whether it remains worth it will depend on your individual circumstances, but it's certainly not the exceptional value it once was. Have you been affected by Qatar's new seat selection fees? How are you adjusting your award booking strategy? I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a message through the website at smartwithpoints.co.uk. Right, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this useful, please do subscribe to Smart with Points on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe directly through our website at smartwithpoints.co.uk, where you'll find show notes, links, and all our latest content. Before I let you go, I want to tell you about a tool that can help you navigate these increasingly complex award bookings. Looking for the best award flights? Use awardtravelfinder.com to search availability across Qatar Airways, British Airways, Cathay Pacific, and more. Try it for free with our link in the show notes. Until next time, happy travels, and may your seat selections remain free.